daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello, you are listening to the Daily Liverpool podcast brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network after yet another loss for Liverpool. That's 3 in a row, 3 in a week. And joining me to talk about what we've just seen is Karl Coppack. Karl, not very few positives today, in my opinion. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think the only positive I can take from it is I think we came out for the second half, and I said on Blue Sky, more than anything, I want this Liverpool side to stop feeling sorry for itself and moping and just rolling it back 4 yards, then going back to the keeper and then trying to go forward, then putting it back to the keeper. I wanted it to stand up and say, we're Liverpool, we're going to fight for this. Where Caicedo had man of the match, in my opinion, but no one wanted to go near him, including the goal, obviously, which we'll come to. But at the same time, I thought we came out and I thought the goal is a decent enough goal. I laughed myself stupid when Gakpo scored because I was calling him to go off at least an hour earlier, which can happen. We get the goal back, and I've just said to you, I think if that ends in 1-1, I'm broadly fine with it because it's a hard place to go. Not everyone will win there, and I don't think Chelsea were anywhere near as good as the commentators make out. Which has been
a bit frustrating though, because this is a Liverpool team that should be winning and would be winning this last season, and we've spent millions and millions of pounds improving this team, so to say, and we just haven't seen it yet. So
but money isn't science. That's the problem, and I think that's why I'm not. I'm critical of the manager and I'm critical of the first team. There's players I'm trying not to slate because they've done brilliant things for us. But my God, how are you getting a game? And Ibu Konate, clearly, I don't know how I was stunned when I saw his name. And as we just said, the left back. Andy Robertson's twice his age comes on and shows him how to be a left back.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Aggressive from the first ball.
And Salah as well. I mean, how many times did he cut inside and give the ball away or do a terrible slice shot which would just go yards away?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say now, I know we're only 7 games into the Premier League season, but he's only scored 1 goal from open play. Is it fair to say he's finally reaching his twilight years?
No, I don't think it is that. I really don't. I think it's the system that's the issue. Because they're all learning new. It's a really, really weird campaign. Someone said this week that Liverpool's transition season is a season too late. We all expected this last year, and I think we all would have accepted it last year in a sort of, it's not Jurgen anymore. We're doing this. He's got his own players now, and that's come now. I'm not giving up on Salah completely because that ball with that pass with the left hand with his left outside of his left foot. I was thinking I've missed that. I've missed seeing you do that. Yeah, which is gorgeous. And even though when I hit it, I thought that's going to be too high. He's not going to do anything with that. But my God, I just want to see you do something like that. I think Salah is an issue. But then again, I am going to slag the manager off. He plays Frimpong in Turkey, and I just think he's Mo Salah. He's Mo Salah, and you're playing a wing back in the front three who isn't fit for that role. And bearing in mind, I don't know what role he is fit for, to be honest. I'm exactly the same way Kirk is. I think it's the old it's square pegs round holes. He's trying to find a way of getting his main lads into a system that they're not ready for yet. And I think that the way it's shaped up in the past week just makes me think we're going to have to see a lot worse to see a lot better, because he's trying to work out a system, which all managers have to do. And the thing he's got, which is going to be doubly criticised for, is last season he didn't do that. He just went, I'm going 4-3-3. These 3 are my midfielders. They're brilliant, and we're going to win the league by a mile, which we did. I don't think he's got that luxury at the moment. And the games are coming so fast now that he can't think, right, I need a good sit down and think, who's my right back at the moment? We entered that game with 2 midfielders in the back 4 because he doesn't trust his back 4. He doesn't trust any of his right backs. And
he doesn't trust Joe Gomez, which I still find strange.
If I'm Joe Gomez, I'm wondering what the hell do you want me to do now? I'll play right back for you, and I'll play centre back for you. And I'll be better than the right back in the centre back, and he is. And
I mean, when he came on against Arsenal, he was absolutely terrific for the 12 minutes.
Do you know what he did? He played a meat and potatoes defender, which is all he needs to do because he's got Virgil next to him. And that's all he needed to do. Mop up, clear, pass. That's all you need to do there. You're not asked to go forward, front foot, and march through the middle of the pitch. You don't do that. Canate doesn't get a game for me for at least 3 weeks.
I'm the same.
I genuinely don't see how he gets a game.
And you know, when Gravenberch went into the...
He's won the world for Liverpool, but he's phoning it in these days.
He used to do these sort of forward dribbles, which Matip used to do constantly. He hasn't done any of them for ages. He's misplaced way too many passes. And honestly, when Gravenberch went to centre-back, it was like watching Matip again. He would do those mazy runs forward, and that's what we needed during that point in the game.
It's confidence, isn't it? That's what it is. He doesn't trust himself. It is a confidence. They're not backing themselves anymore. They're not getting angry enough. There's no one in the middle of that pitch shouting and saying, right, the next 5 minutes we do this. You win that. You go and Casado and you stand on his feet. You go and do that, and I'll be the ball off you. And we were playing like we're scared. But if that goes to 1-1, I think that's a point I can live with. That's all right.
Yeah.
Because it's a hard place to go. And Chelsea were the exact opposite. Chelsea just thought, all right, we think you're vulnerable and we're going to have a go at you for this. I thought Caicedo was fantastic. I really did.
He was.
That's the best he's ever played against us. And getting Gittins is good. And, he ends up winning the game, and Esteban. But, in some ways, I'm not too disheartened because I think it's a good thing sometimes. The problem with being a Liverpool fan is we are a support that thinks we're going to get the worlds just because we're awesome and brilliant. And it tends to work that way. But when it doesn't, we're not really used to thinking, this is where you dig in. I'll never forget, under Rafa, we lost 2 or 3 games or something like that. And we had a derby at home. And we thought, if he loses this, and it was the worst match I've ever seen. And we won 1-0. And it felt like Istanbul. And sometimes you just have to dig in and fight. And at the moment, Liverpool aren't digging in and fighting. But I think as a fan base, this is where you do it. This is where you support. We are not good. The manager's making mistakes. I genuinely think that team. He made a load of changes. I think there were still 3 too few for me. But,
Do you know, the thing is, you mentioned how we came out of the gates in the second half. I thought we did incredibly well coming out of the gates in the first half as well. Finally, we're seeing some fast-paced football.
Story said specifically the first 8 minutes were great, and he was right. We were great for 8 minutes, and then we started doubting ourselves. And
why did we start doing that? Do you think?
Yeah, it's confidence. I think this is a side that has to go a goal up, and I don't know if it's tiredness. I don't know if it's the system. I thought people are talking about Wirtz. I thought Wirtz was brilliant for 10 minutes when he came on. Really, really good. Yeah. That ball to Salah was gorgeous. And, and he can do that. And Dalglish was making the point in the week was how you get the best out of him as you watch him play and say, what do you want me to do to give you the ball? And he will find those balls through to Salah. He obviously whacked it wide by a mile, obviously. They just need to stop feeling sorry for themselves. They need a really, really good shout, I think. And the problem I see is they're getting a game anyway. I think if you said to Ibu Konate, you're not playing for 3 weeks, go away and have a think about what you're doing here. Your Madrid move's gone. You have a think about what you want to do for this club. I think he comes back and gets angry and thinks, right, okay, I'll show you. I'll show you how I'm the second choice centre half for this side behind Virgil. I think Virgil needs a word with himself as well.
Yeah, just that goal that Caicedo got right at the beginning, just the backing off the entire way.
Yeah.
It's almost inviting him to have a shot. I know he used that incredible dummy before he shot, and that's made Van Dijk flinch a little bit. But
the touch is gorgeous. That little touch he gives before he hits it is gorgeous.
It's striker's instinct for someone who's renowned for being energy in defence and transitional play. But the thing is, professional footballers in the Premier League are all very, very good at shooting. All of them. Even the goalkeeper.
And he did it a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
he did it against Brentford a few weeks ago.
And But do you think questions need to be asked of Alexis McAllister there? Do you think he was a bit too naive?
Oh, he lets him go, yeah. He lets him go. The centre-halves let him go too. But, I mean, the centre-halves, they're wrong, and I'm not going to say they're right, but it's almost as if they said, well, if you can score from there, mate, you have a go. Oh, you did. And actually, that's an incredibly good goal. Yeah, McAllister's nowhere near him. Nowhere near him. And that's an issue for me. I couldn't believe he got 85 minutes today. And again, I'm not slagging him off. I'm slagging off the manager for picking him because he's exhausted. You can clearly see he's not fit. And yet he gets a game anyway. And yeah, I don't know. It's just...
It's not. We're not used to this anymore. When 3 losses in a row, it's just that hasn't. We didn't even get 2 losses in a row under Arne Slot until this week.
If it puts us back to the drawing board, it's not the worst thing in the world. If they wake up and think, do you know what? We are not superhuman. We've got to work harder. We've got to think. We've got to box clever. We've got to think. What do we do now? Because we can't get it just on the fact that we're the league champions anymore.
If there's any time for us to get an international break, my word, it's now. It's come at the perfect time for us. I think not just Arne Slot, but a lot of the players need to go away, have a think, and play under a different system. It might be a nice refresher for them. Come back angry.
That's what I want. Come back annoyed that this has happened. Because they just slope off the pitch and we lost another one last minute. That's unlucky. And that's not a good thing.
And also, Andy Robbo limping off at the end of the match. That's a terror. Honestly, you saw the difference when he came on. There's just so much more forward thinking. These long balls. That long
First
ball
thing
he did at the end to Ekitike as well.
First thing he does, the lad who's playing down his side, I can't remember who it was at that point.
Not maybe.
Yeah, he shoulder barges him, wins the ball off him, and then goes up the pitch. And he's pointing to Gakpo to say where to go. And the difference between that and Kirkez is Kirkez would have been standing near to Gakpo.
Oh yeah,
and
that's in the trends already.
And there's a bit where there's a bit in the second half as well where there was no one at left back because Robbo's being pulled into the centre. And my mate was watching his Arsenal fan was like saying no, and he said Robbo's out of position, and it was Robbo on the centre spot who defended it because he's a natural defender. He knows exactly the only place you can put the ball is there, and I'm going to be there to meet it because he's a proper left back. And I think it's been, and I get 40 million. He was great at Bournemouth and stuff like that, but I'm playing Andy Robbo as every possible minute I can.
And Robbo, he has 10 years on Kirkez, 31 to 21. Yeah, I know 21. I'm 21 myself. I look at a player and I do feel, and I feel a bit sorry for him, almost to the fact that he's become this scapegoat at the age of 21. But when you have done enough to cost 40 million in the first place, that is a responsibility you do carry, and that's what you knew he was signing up for when he joined Liverpool. And Jesse made the point after we lost to Galatasaray. I said I was looking at Kirkez just thinking, what are you actually good at? And he said, well, that's a little bit harsh. He's, especially if you are going to drop him for Robbo, it's like, at what point do you think it's fine to bring Kirkez back in? And I just think, well, we did the same with Tsimikas. Why can't we do the same with Kirkez? You're joining the team. You can't expect to be starting every week. And now Slot has made him start every week, and he's just not ready for it yet. He needs time to adjust to the system. And
the reason that's fine is because that's what Jurgen did to Andy Robertson. He didn't play him till October in his first season. Not yet. You're not ready yet. Like he did with Fabinho. You're not playing yet. You're not ready. You're not ready for this system yet. But Kirkez has been involved in every league game this season. And I think he's had a good half out of all that. And again, it's not his fault. It's a new system. There might be language issues and stuff like that. But I don't want to watch him improve as a Liverpool player. I want to watch Liverpool win games and then him come in and be ready for it. And he's nowhere near ready for it.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll talk more about the entire squad. We'll do match ratings, so on and so forth. But first, it's time for you to hear from our sponsors and find out where you can get your supplements.
Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
So just on the topic of new players who have come in and have been a little bit exposed, we saw Alisson get injured midweek, and we looked at Mamadashvili, and to be honest, I saw a little bit of him during pre-season, but I saw enough to the point where I just thought, yeah, he's a very capable goalkeeper, huge frame, comes out at the right moment. And I honestly thought he was a terrific goalkeeper today. Came out at the right moments. His distribution is what impressed me the most. His urgency to get the ball out of the box and into players for a counter attack. It almost like, and I'd like to know the stat. I'm just going to look this up now. The number of touches. He had 64 touches, so he received the ball 64 times during the 90 minutes. So he had a lot to do, and I thought he coped very well, Karl.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, he makes one mistake where he puts the ball, actually led to the goal, in fact, where he tries to put the ball over to Virgil, and he over hits it by a mile. He had a couple of them, but, Stamford Bridge is not going to be easy. I loved when he made the first of his two big saves and got up and shouted at himself at the post. That was really nice. I love that because it was a sort of, yes, I'm here. That was all right. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this level. That was a really, at a time when we were under the cosh, that was a nice sort of, yes, I'm all right. I really, really like that about him. Yeah, I'm fine with him, to be honest. There's nothing he can do about the goals, obviously.
Yeah, I'd like to see him a bit more. I mean, he's going to get plenty of minutes knowing that Alisson's body is just made of glass now, the amount of times he's been out. So, very impressed by him. Kirkes, we've already touched on him. Bradley, on the other hand, I know he only played the first half, but my God, he does this thing where he just tries to take the ball forward from his feet. It doesn't work, and he'll pass to Salah. And if it hasn't found Salah, that's because he's already lost it. It's becoming a bit of a trend now, and I was so buzzing for him last season, because he really suited that system we played last season, running down the right, and he found himself in a bit more space and a bit more freedom. But suddenly, when we're getting pinned back, he's not the sort of player that can turn defense into attack and look to keep the ball going forward. Maybe that's partly due to our system, but he's sort of become a victim of that.
I think you can be brave, but you can be over brave as well, and he does commit himself an awful lot. But you've got to think, is that what the manager wants him to do? It's difficult with fullback if you're not Trent, because you either go Gary Neville, where you barely make it forward, and Gary Neville said he only ever made two passes. One was into Scholes, and one was into Beckham in front of him. That's all he had to do. His entire job was defending. Or do you go, I'm going to roll back the years now, do you go Philip Deggan, where you end up being in front of the forwards a lot of the time, where you're supposed to be trying to defend? And I like the fact he's aggressive. I think he got done today. I think they played him absolutely perfectly. Got the yellow card, and then he's got to come off because he's just going to do it again.
Yeah, at least he's going to get subbed off in the first half. That's all I'll say. But yeah, just it doesn't fill me with confidence. It does feel almost like we are missing Trent now, like we're just getting us out of jail.
He's still the right back I'd start with.
Yeah,
he still is, I think, for me. Which doesn't say great.
Trent?
Actually, the fullback I start with at the moment is Joe Gomez, to be honest. But and I've got no problem with that. Who's going to play two passes, one to the wing and one to the centre midfielder? He's not going to go forward with the ball.
I'm going Szoboszlai still. I think he's looked better than either of those two.
But you miss him in the middle, I think. Particularly when we've got no energy in the middle of the park. That's my only worry about that. And he was great today, Dom. I thought he was shaky, and then I thought he was brilliant. It's weird. He does. I said this again at half time. Liverpool have to play their way out of stupid. which is how we got where we are. And Szoboszlai did that. I thought he was really shaky to start with, and then he just sort of started winning things and being aggressive and moving the ball. And he still gave the ball away loads because they all did, but. But I think it comes to something when your fullback's one of your best centre midfielders.
I do think he has been our best player this season overall, by the way.
Yeah, I agree completely, yeah.
And by the way, very, very harshly given yellow card for him on Cucurella, by the way.
Well, Anthony Taylor, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. The cameras were there.
Ryan Gravenberch, what do you think about his midfield performance, actually? Because we've already touched on his defensive performance when he went into centre back. It was a bit of nothing from him again, and
it's Caicedo, isn't it? That was the problem. Caicedo and Fernandes. I thought they closed him really well. That's and Maresca's no idiot. He knows if you stop Gravenberch, you're going to stop the midfield around him. And again, I think he's doing the running of two men so often. And maybe he's a bit tired as well, but I don't think he was brilliant today. But one thing he did do was put his foot on the ball and bring it out when he was a centre-back. And that's nice to see. He doesn't mind having the ball at shin length with three lads standing in front of him. And that's something at the moment. I feel better for that.
We just need to be better through transition, I think, is what I think that's just it, to be honest. We can't get out of jail at the moment. As you mentioned earlier, it always ends up going back to the goalkeeper and it's just restarting. We have players who are very capable of beating a press, but this is a new team that don't know how to play together very well. And I thought when we had the old midfield trio of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister,
which was today,
nothing changed. It's just
but it was 30% slower. That's the problem for me.
Not at the beginning of the halves.
No. Started really, really well. Very aggressive, very front foot.
And then they scored.
And then we felt sorry for ourselves.
Yeah, collapsed completely.
Yeah.
McAllister, you've already touched on him. We touched briefly on Salah, but I think we do need to make the point that, I mean, you think it's the system. I think that it's not the system because it's Mo Salah. He has had plenty of help from the fullbacks, but how many times did he actually cut inside?
His decision making was awful.
His decision making was horrific. I mean, the thing is, I say this, but the stats don't lie. He's created 4 chances, but he had 3 shots and none of them were on target from what I can remember.
No.
He had opportunities. He really did. I mean, it's just not the same Mo Salah as last season. I mean, Mo Salah from last season, I thought deserved to win the Ballon d'Or. But
of course he did.
You look at what's happened to him, it's just it's shocking. He's been pushed aside to the right hand side, and even when he was on the right hand side, I mean, think of the 21-22 season or the 22-23 season where he was just completely deserted on the right hand side, but he was still getting assists. He's not getting anything now.
No.
And the reason he wasn't getting as many assists before is Darwin Núñez, but now we've got fully capable strikers in Isak and Ekitike up front. And he did that one pass for Isak, but that was it. And it's not consistent enough. In fact, it is consistent. It's consistently wasteful.
He's not releasing the ball quickly enough for me. And he's doing that thing that he does when he's struggling for form where he goes back and beats the player again when he doesn't need to do that. A lot of teams in Chelsea did this as well, are not letting him get behind. Liverpool aren't playing a ball into space behind him. They're not coming through the lines, and I think he misses that. So that chance he creates for Isak is because he can take a touch and look up. And normally what he does is look down and look at his feet and then just do a wriggle and it goes out to it for a goal kick.
Yeah.
A lot of that. His miss is awful, by the way. The one where he puts it wide when Wirtz plays him through that's an awful miss.
Well, you mean the one right at the start of the second half?
Yeah. But the keeper gives it up, I think. That's just, he's in. There's nothing I can do. He's in. And he whacks it pretty wide. It was wide, but it looked pretty bad. In fact, my mate said to me, "Sure, well, that's a good save." And no, he didn't save it.
No, he
Didn't
just
need
scuffed
to.
it. I thought it
Yeah.
was Cucurella who got the touch in it, but then I saw the replay and he just
Yeah, no,
completely
he just
scuffs
whacked
it
it
with his
out.
right
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, he's not
Um,
playing well.
no, he's not, absolutely. Isak, I thought, was good.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. You can see what he does. I'm saying he meant it, just to give
Yeah,
myself
I'm
something
saying
for it.
he meant it as well.
Yeah, I think he might have meant it for himself, but he definitely he's taking the ball away from the centre half. That's what he's trying to do there.
Yeah, and
And
it was he did a few good things. I thought his pressing was particularly good as well,
yeah,
where he chased down Badiashile.
yeah, he worked really hard. I think in an ideal world, I would have done it the other way around and brought him on and started Ekatike, because I think Ekatike is just in better form. And I'd watch
Although he had that
Ekatike.
niggle, didn't he, during the week?
Yeah, the cramp thing. Yeah, I'd watch Ekatike water his garden for 4 hours because he'd do it beautifully. I love everything about him.
Oh, he's
I'm a bit
terrific,
annoyed
isn't
that
he?
he's got rid of his blonde hair, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's just a wonderful player to watch. The way he uses space is just beautiful. But you've got to play Isak because he hasn't had a preseason. You know, this is his preseason, and I thought he did okay. He's unlucky with the chance. It was that Mo provided for him was just a bit high, but
Yeah.
I'd rather have him playing for Liverpool.
Curtis Jones, I thought was pretty. I think he was quite at fault for that late goal that they got. I think he was
Yeah, I can
just
see
not
that.
aggressive at all. He was just standing off and jockeying the entire time. But you're giving a player in the 95th minute a chance to think about what they want to do.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So
I think they struggle with everyone struggled with Gittins when he came on. I don't know if that's a tiredness thing, but I think everyone struggled with him, and yeah, they were just sort of just shepherding him out, and he goes and do that. I've seen people slagging off Robbo for the goal as well, but like, again, Kirkes would have been standing next to the linesman calling for the ball. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't great. He wasn't great, but I'm afraid I start him over McAllister at the moment just because of the energy more than
do you
anything
think
else.
then it was the right decision to bring on Wataru Endo?
I did. I said to my mate, who doesn't know anything about him, I said, well, he's the player who's going to get booked in a minute. Just sit there and he'll get booked for you. I can see why he's doing that because he can go centre back as well if they want to go to a 3, and I can see why they did that. He played one awful ball, from what I can remember, but
I don't remember which one that is.
I think he just played the ball into the centre of the park when there's no one there. So it might be something else, someone else. I can't remember. No, Robbo did that as well. Yeah, I mean, you can't relay anything. He's only on the pitch for 5 minutes, wasn't he? But I can see what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get I think Slot said, okay, this time we will take the point, and just get away from this ground and get away from this run. Just get a point on the board. We're happy with that.
I suppose that's fair enough, but I still would have liked to see Chiesa come on.
At that point, though, we wouldn't have got the ball up to him. Because Neville made the point. Neville said we were awful for the last 15 minutes, and I thought he was being kind. We were terrible for the last 15 minutes because we panicked again. We started feeling sorry for ourselves. We let them back in, and we just wanted to get off the pitch, and it really showed.
It just felt a bit like give it to Gakpo and hope something will happen.
Gakpo was awful for the last 20 minutes. Absolutely awful.
But he had a hard thing to do because there was just no support for him other than Robertson, who had just come on and has got barely any football in his leg.
All over the back four at that point. So yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah. It's just it was absolutely hopeless, and I mean Rio wasn't brought on, and I mean he wasn't even on the bench, but I don't think I would have brought him on for that remainder of that match. But the reason I say I would have brought Chiesa on is just because he's so clinical in the end of the match. Once you bring him on, the ball just falls to him and he scores. That's been a little bit of a trend this season, and a little bit last season as well. When the very few minutes he did get, and by that I mean the Carabao Cup final. It's just you just sort of want him there just in case something happens, and he does press like mad as well. He really cares. And I'm not saying Ekatike and Isak weren't pressing. I'm just saying it would have felt I would have been a bit more comfortable with bringing on Chiesa rather than
make them work a bit harder.
Exactly, that sort of thing.
Because I don't think we made them work hard at all in that game.
Yeah, I would have brought him on for Salah. To be honest, start him over Salah the next game.
I've got no problem with that at all. Needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Closing thoughts then as we go into this international break. What do you think is the number one thing that needs to change about this Liverpool team once we come back from internationals?
He needs to decide what his fullbacks are doing. He needs to commit to his back four.
And that's the only thing for you. I mean,
everything starts from there. Everything starts from there. You get the goalkeeper back, you sort out your back four, because we can't have 3 right backs, and we can't have a lad at left back who occasionally visits left back.
And I'd say get the old boys in, the more experienced boys in overall, and sort of just ease the new boys in, because
we need a horrible 1-0 win at Anfield. We need a horrible 1-0 fight.
That's what was happening for the majority of the season, though. We just had horrible wins, and suddenly when we stop winning 1-0 late on, it turns into this, and it's like, this is the wake-up call for me. This is what we needed.
Yeah.
And just, anyway.
I think good will come from this. But, but as Liverpool fans, we're spoiled, and sometimes you dig in when you go backwards. That's what I'm thinking tonight. You dig in when you go backwards. You just got to fight a bit harder.
We'll end it there. So the takeaway: wing-backs need to be nailed on and just dig in. For the love of God, just dig in. It's a
fight
big
hard
ask
to get angry.
It's a big ask of these new boys, and it's a horrible situation for them to be, because I'm sure they'll be blaming themselves. But yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you very much for listening. I'll have another episode out on Monday for the Monday review. Karl, good to see you again. I wish it could have been in better circumstances than a third straight loss, but this is what we've had to suffer for many years, and now it's not going to be that bad.
You can't have the rainbow without the rain, can you?
Exactly. It's not. It could be worse. It could be 2011 Liverpool.
Yeah, you people don't know you're born, by the way.
All right. Thanks for joining me.
You went here for 1993.
Oh, you'll talk about that. Yeah. No, I wasn't there for that, but I was there for Hicks and Gillette, mate. So
yeah, exactly.
I had to suffer as well, mate.
Blackpool at home. This is a walk in the park. Honestly, we've lost 2 games.
I actually know what. It's funny you mentioned that, because I remember Jay Spearing and Martin Kelly and Glenn Johnson. My God, Glenn Johnson. What a horrible player, man.
When we played Sunderland, our midfield 2 was Plessy and Jay Spearing wearing gold shorts.
Oh, my
gosh. Enjoy your evening, everyone.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out as the clear winner, with 4K video recording from your phone, AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs. It's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the description to learn more about Zencastr.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.